Hello, beautiful art family, and thank you for joining me today for Sketchbook Sunday, episode 33. Today I am painting a hand water and rose study, and this was an idea for a painting I had years ago, and I never really turned it into its own painting. Instead, I decided to entertain the idea in my sketchbook. I'm not sure what came over me. Like I said in previous Sketchbook Sundays, I have a pool of references that I create and conceptualize, and sometimes it takes me years to actually get around to painting them, but at least I do eventually. And even the majority of them I don't actually end up painting, but for this one, something came over my brain and I was like, you know what, I want to paint this now, so let's do it. So today I want to talk to you guys about why you shouldn't be discouraged from making your art or even sharing your art and putting it out there. A lot of times we can look at other artists who are more advanced than us or more successful than us, and we might think, wow, what's the point? I'll never get there, or I'm not there right now, and why should I put my art out? Maybe I should only share it once I'm that good, or once I'm good enough. But being good enough or making good art or perfect art is a completely invented concept that, although there is a specific standard that you want to aspire to be, in the long run, it's still an invented concept that we humans created. There's really no such thing as a perfect artist or what's actually good enough. And despite some of my annoyances in the past with certain modern art, it has actually proved that there really is no such thing as good enough or, a specific standard for what your art should be in order to be successful. We have these color blob paintings that probably didn't take a whole lot of effort, and they go for thousands and thousands of dollars. So that's proof enough. And that's something I do like about the modern art movement, was that it completely dismantled this old paradigm, this old standard that we had, despite it being a good standard. I think it left the door open for artists who don't want to necessarily make that kind of art. Maybe they want to do something abstract and that's what they're passionate about. It opened the door for that kind of art, and I think that's a beautiful thing because it allows more people to create and more people to find a voice and possibly even become successful doing it. The truth is, if you want to make art and if making art makes you happy, then you should continue making it. You should not be comparing yourself to people who are far more ahead of you and letting that discourage you from doing something you actually really, really enjoy. Another thing that people are afraid of when it comes to putting their art out there and sharing their art is discouragement from others, or people being mean to them and telling them that they shouldn't make art, or that their art sucks, or they're not talented. There's so many things that people can say to try and tear you down. Here's the thing. When people are judging you online or leaving you hate comments or trying to tear you down and be mean to you and just be an overall nasty, hateful, angry person, that is not an indicator about you. The things that they say are not necessarily about you. I mean, they could be offering some kind of hateful comment and insult, but the truth is it's more of a reflection of who they are and what they are like, and also the struggles and pain that they're experiencing in their life. Because someone who is truly happy with themselves, someone who is enjoying their life, and someone who is passionate and active and busy in their lives with things that they love will not have the motivation to go and leave hateful comments and be an angry, hateful person to other people online, especially strangers they haven't met, just people in general. They just won't have the time to do that. They won't have the desire to do that because they're too busy enjoying their own life. They're too busy, focusing their time onto their passions. But the fact that they're not, the fact that they're, harassing you online is just telling of who they are as a person, and they're just miserable and sad and they're suffering, and it's not your responsibility to fix that, and it's not your responsibility to deal with that. So the best thing to do is just to ignore it. And there's the block option as well. So don't let that be a fear. Like, people if you're scared of hateful comments, I know so many people are, and I get messages like that a lot. Like, I want to make a YouTube channel, I want to put my art out there, but I'm so scared of getting hatred. The truth is, you might end up getting it at some point. That's kind of like, the package of the internet. But you have to understand that people who do that are not worth your time. They're not worth listening to. And they're just miserable, sad people that don't have anything better to do with their lives. And I feel sorry for them. Don't let anybody discourage you from putting yourself out there, from sharing your art, sharing your heart with the world, and doing something you really, really love, because, they're miserable on their own. Don't let them infect your life from something beautiful that makes you happy. A lot of times, the reason why we don't make art ends up being fear. Sometimes it's fear of failure. We might be scared that the work is not going to be good enough. We might be scared that there's just a lot of work involved in this and it's just too overwhelming, it's too intimidating. We just might be scared of some sort of backlash. And you're also not obligated to share anything. You don't have to put your art out there if you don't want to. And at the same time, I think there is great value in sharing your art. And there's people out there of all different skill levels who are creating and enjoying creating. And you can sort of support each other. For me, making art has never been about trying to make a perfect painting or trying to be the best artist in the world. That's just not possible. That's never going to happen. So I shouldn't even worry about that kind of stuff, because it's completely unattainable, unrealistic goals that can never be achieved. And if I try to make that my motivation, I'm just going to end up miserable and constantly in a state of failure. So I create regardless. I don't create for anyone else. I create for me. I paint the paintings that I want to create. I paint the things I want to paint, the things that fascinate me, the things that I love, and I end up sharing it online. And I have been for the last 7 years now, actually even longer, but as far as YouTube goes, we've probably already passed my 7-year YouTube anniversary. I feel like I should make a special video in honor of that. Let me know if you guys have suggestions, but don't be scared to make art, whatever art form that may be, whether it's writing, whether it's music, dancing, or painting, drawing, whatever it is, don't be afraid to do that, because that's your passion and that's something you really enjoy, and that's a relationship that you have with yourself and with the world around you, and it's your way of expressing that. And no one should ever have the power to take that away from you, and no one truly does unless you give them that. It's not other people that have that power, it's only you. You're the one that has the power to take that away from yourself by giving into your fears, by giving into the negative voices in your head, all the times that they tell you, oh, this is gonna suck, why are you even bothering? This isn't even good. Look at that other artist. They're doing so much better. You can never paint like that. Why even bother? Don't listen to those stupid voices. And we all have them at some point. I don't know. Maybe some of you don't. Maybe some of you just have a brain that doesn't try to tear you down all the time. In which case, slow clap. You are blessed. But I think a lot of us don't have that, and we always have to deal with some kind of inner dialogue that can be negative, and it can be discouraging, and it stops us from doing all the things we love. I don't know, maybe I'm just speaking for myself here, but this is definitely an issue that I had to overcome in order to get to a place where I'm confident and happy with my work and my life, and just overall in general. You just gotta stop letting fear take a hold of you. So that was my little art ramble for today's Sketchbook Sunday. It's also Easter, so for those of you that celebrate Easter, happy Easter. I hope you have a wonderful time with your family or by yourself, or just a beautiful day in general, whether or not you're celebrating. I hope you have a beautiful week. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.